Dame wants to go to a contender, and Boston has built a contending team for years now, but can't get over the final hurdle. The Celtics are similar to the Heat when it comes to far playoff runs in recent years, so for Dame, who prefers the Heat right now as his preferred destination, could easily see why the Celtics would work just as well, if not better, for his needs. The Boston Celtics have the most playoff wins by any team with 41 wins in the last 5 years. We know the Jaylen Brown contract situation is very sensitive. Boston is understandably reluctant to locking themselves and giving him the supermax, and this could get him off the team before they extend him. This is also an All-NBA second team player, something even Dame wasn't last year. Dame was an All-NBA third team last year. Brown has high upside and potential. He's also much younger and fits with Portland's rebuild, as they already would have a star player to build around. If Jaylen Brown does get extended on the supermax deal, he cannot be traded for a year. He's prohibited from being traded. This incentivizes the Celtics even more to finally get this trade done this summer, before losing Brown in free agency next summer or being locked up with them and losing interested teams to trade with later. The Celtics have been hunting for a better starter pair with Tatum for years, hence all the Brown trade rumors for the past few years. This would be a trade that benefits both teams. The Celtics get a much better scorer and playmaker in Dame than they've ever had in the Tatum era. With Smart traded and Brogdon likely injured, they still have a win-now window and will need to address the point guard hole that Lillard would likely fill alongside White. Brogdon would be a nice fit for the Trailblazers and could be a good veteran after his role has regressed over the years, but always stayed professional. Even if he's injured, he has 2 years left under contract, and so they can still play him the season after, even if he misses this season. During Portland's rebuild, Brogdon's a great role player, coming off 6th Man of the Year, and can very well be traded after too. Boston also has draft picks, especially first round draft picks as recent as from the Porzingis trade, so they can package a few together to get Lillard. The Celtics also gained an additional draft pick in all this in the coming years, even after losing two. Remember, they could have just lost Grant Williams for nothing, like in typical free agency, but managed to still pick up an additional second round pick. The Celtics could flip these in a deal for Dame as well. The Celtics can put a better deal together for Dame than the Heat can, as Brown is better than Hero, and the Trailblazers already have other young guards they can already build around. Brown fits a positional need for their young core. The Celtics also have better draft picks they've accumulated through recent trades, more variety in their draft picks, and ultimately in a bidding war, they simply have more draft capital to trade. If the Portland Trailblazers refuse to take on Brogdon, who is injured, then they could go for a veteran for their now young team without Horford. This would also signal a more drastic shift in the Celtics locker room dynamic after the Marcus Smart trade, as Horford was also another veteran leader for 4 years in the Tatum era. This move would ultimately be making Tatum the leader of the locker room. As briefly mentioned earlier about the Marcus Smart trade changing the voice of the Celtics locker room, be sure to check out my other video detailing the winners and losers of the Porzingis trade and why the Celtics won big in that trade.